Limerick Today with Joe Nash on Limerick's Live 95FM.
The 6 weeks to success lifestyle makeover programme with our partners at Fitzgerald Woodlands House Hotel is in its 4th week, and it is going tremendously, I can tell you, because I can see the weight falling off our 2 candidates, joined again this morning by Margaret and Jim. Good morning to both of you. And also by their personal stylist, Caroline Ryan. Style by Caroline. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Joe.
Well, has more weight been lost, Margaret?
A few pounds.
Really?
Yeah. Delighted with the weight loss, but I'm also delighted with the inch loss, which has resulted in one size down in the clothes. And that has made a huge difference. That's really where I'm seeing the results, and I'm delighted with it so far.
Jim?
Yeah, same thing. I've had a couple of pounds again. I think about 1.5 kilos again in the week, which is pretty. And again, the pants I've on me today, I didn't try it for 4 years. Tried it this morning, fitted, and I needed a little bit of a belt.
What I find phenomenal is the fact that in 7 days you're losing so much weight.
Yeah, it is, and it's down. It's the whole. It is the whole package. It's the diet. It's the whole lot, and it's watching everything. And I haven't eaten after. Well, I think one night I had to eat about 7:30, which was unusual. But I haven't eaten after that any night. 6:30 usually is the cut-off point.
Do you have more energy?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sleeping better as well, and that's probably giving me more energy. You know, because in the past, as I said, I would sleep because I was exhausted. And much better quality now. And as well as that, I've been told that my snoring, which was a problem, is almost non-existent.
Margaret, what have you been doing this week?
Well, I've been in the gym with Lucas on 4 days, and of course I have been to the girls in Riva Spa as well. Yesterday I had a lovely facial treatment, and I really felt great after it. It's just, you know, when you hear of a facial, you just think of the face, but of course you get I had treated for the dry skin, and nourishing mask placed on the skin as well. But you also get the shoulder massage, and you also get a foot massage. So it's very, very, very relaxing.
That's some facial.
That's some facial. It goes from top to toe. Very, very good. Then I have some treatment for my skin. Cleanser, toner, moisturiser that I'm going to use over the next 2 weeks until the final, and we'll just see how much my skin will improve. It has improved dramatically. I would have suffered an awful lot from very, very dry skin, but I'd say with the diet and with the various treatments, it has improved dramatically. So I'm delighted with that.
Your skin?
I had a facial as well, and again, it was something that, as one of the lads, I wouldn't have dreamt ever going for a facial, but I did suffer from dry skin, and at times it did, especially on my forehead and the bridge of my nose, it would actually be sore. And of course, I would throw in any old stuff. If it said moisturiser on the box at home, it was good enough for me, and it was never the same brand. And it didn't improve at all. But since my diet has changed, I have found changes, but the facial was it was amazing. It really was. Even as a man saying to get a facial, I would never have thought of it.
Did it open your pores?
It did, and it was just the whole experience. I have to apologise to Laura, who was the lady that was there. I think I actually fell asleep at one stage, Joe. It was just so relaxing. It was unbelievable.
It's like 8 hours sleep.
Yeah.
You feel as good after the hour.
Yeah.
With
like
the
8 hours sleep.
Honest to God, you have to.
You're selling it now. You're selling it a bit much now, man.
You have to trust me. It was just like having.
I
did fall asleep too, and I think I gave a little bit of a snore. I think it woke me up. But definitely, you feel so refreshed. It was as good as 8 hours sleep. No word of a lie. I felt fantastic after it.
Caroline Ryan, what are you doing for our 2 candidates then?
Well, I had a lot to live up to, didn't I, with stories of these facials this week. My goodness, I'm going to head down to Woodlands myself this afternoon on the basis of that. But my job this week was to come in and take a look at both Jim and Margaret's wardrobes. Not necessarily to critique what was in the wardrobe, but more so because they're going through such changes and in such a short space of time as well, Joe. Like you, I've been amazed at seeing the difference in them, and I hadn't actually seen them in 3 weeks. And when both answered the doors and on the respective days when I met them, I couldn't believe the difference. So their challenge at the moment is the fact that a lot of the items in their wardrobe now don't fit them, and they're on this, I suppose, transformation process, and the challenge for them is to find clothes that will fit them in the interim and also by the time they get to the end of their process too. And as they're replenishing their wardrobes, I was keen to impress the importance upon them that the clothes that they buy in the future have to match their lifestyle and have to match their personality. So no such things as buying things just because they fit or just because to cover up. it really is something that I'm keen that they purchase things that they'll love to wear, you know.
What will this man be throwing on himself in the future then?
Well, Jim, I've been absolutely amazed by Jim's transformation, really. It's been absolutely unbelievable. And Jim is very much in kind of a polo shirts and combats kind of guy, wouldn't I be fair in saying that, Jim? Yeah. And I suppose there's been so much weight loss, particularly around around the tummy, the stomach area and that, and on his arms as well. So I think we were talking about developing a more kind of smart casual sort of wardrobe that could take you to work or could take you to an event afterwards, or that, but still would be comfortable to wear for all occasions.
His colouring?
His colouring, I think even his colouring has changed in the few weeks. I was amazed by that. Jim is quite olive green, nearly hazel coloured eyes. So because of that, he can actually wear a wealth of really warm colours. He can wear the greens. He's wearing a sort of an orange shade today. He can wear a lot of browns very successfully, camels, taupes, all that sort of thing. So he's lucky. He can wear whatever colour he wants, really.
What are you laughing at?
This
is a revelation to me. When I saw this and she came with my because my wardrobe is basically t-shirts and combats and a couple of pairs of jeans and that and work stuff, and that's it then. I don't really have, I did have a suit that I got for a funeral a couple of years ago. Interestingly, speaking to as you do, speaking to Caroline, even the suit as it is going to get smaller, she had tips for how to get it changed in, like rather than getting just the sides taken in, get all the seams opened up.
Well
like
fitting.
Exactly it. I was saying to Jim, I actually did a course with Louis Copeland, the tailor up in Dublin there a number of years ago, and his tips always stayed with me. And one of his tips was, if you're buying a suit day one, make sure it's quite a good suit anyway. But if your body shape changes during the course of the time you own that suit, you can actually get suits successfully altered. But if you are getting them altered, the main thing to remember is not just get the sides of the pants taken in. There's a couple of darts at the front you see around the front of the pants, and also the back at the seat of the pants as well. They should be opened up and adjusted as well. So
now Margaret is laughing at me here, asking all these questions about colouring.
I'm highly impressed.
Are you impressed, Margaret?
I'm very impressed with you.
I'm delighted. So what did you do for Margaret?
Margaret, I tell you, we had a great time on Monday.
We had a
You see, this
ball.
is you know what? You were fine, Jim. You did what you could and you did the best, but really it was about the two girls.
We had the best night's fun I've had in absolute years. And we started with a black plastic bag.
Everything or a lot went.
It does a lot's gone. I hope Dennis isn't listening, because I'll have his credit card next week, but try not to tell him, anyone.
Best of luck there, Dennis.
Yeah, lucky Dennis. Well, what we did when we went into, with both of them, what I went in and discussed with them what their lifestyle was. So there's no point in, I suppose, when you're changing your wardrobe. Let's say, for example, like Margaret works an awful lot of hours. So there's no point in her replenishing her wardrobe with loads of social wear, because she needs to have a wardrobe that would let's say, represent all the various aspects of her life. So we went and spoke a little bit about lifestyle. Then with the two of them, they were both plunked in front of a full-length mirror. So we went through their body shapes and I showed them how to draw attention to the areas that they were most confident with. And if there was any areas then that they might have been a little bit self-conscious about, I gave them tricks to hide.
What areas now, Margaret, would you be most confident with?
The legs.
Absolutely.
And I didn't realise, what do you mean absolutely?
That's a positive comment.
What I didn't realise was my waist. I would always have camouflage, but and covered up. I think it's an old-fashioned thing with me, to be honest. But until Caroline actually pointed it out to me.
Oh, are you telling me the areas you're most confident with? Yes.
Most confident. Yes. The legs and the waist and the upper part, the upper half of the body, really. The neck, she pointed out, and the skin, and that was better than I would have thought. So I'm quite happy with myself.
And that is what it's about. It's about enhancing the positive.
Yeah, it's about drawing attention to the areas that you are comfortable with. So let's say like that Margaret has beautiful skin all around the neck area, collarbone area and all that. So I was saying to her she should really wear open necklines and very attractive jewellery and pretty scarves and that to draw attention to that area. And the fact her waist is so slim, there's loads of ways that she can draw attention to that, again, with perhaps pretty belts or jackets that have fastenings around the waist area, and shirts that have drawstrings in the waist, this sort of thing,
What about makeup then?
With makeup, well, I suppose the makeup will come into it really when it comes to the reveal, won't it?
That's a secret.
You'll have to see this in the video, because she's laughing at me, she's winking at me, and she's trying to put me off with every question.
There'll be no trouble
I'm
with,
so impressed.
with Margaret and makeup because her skin, in fact, you will see the difference that the facial or the couple of treatments that she's had has made. Her skin is absolutely glowing. There'll be no trouble. She'll end up getting quite a glamorous look, I would hope.
Fantastic.
You won't know me, Joe. I'm
Margaret,
telling you now.
honestly, I say this sincerely with the two of you. I hardly know you each week you come in. It is just a phenomenal transformation. Really fantastic. And well done to you, Caroline, indeed. All
my
of
pleasure.
the people who've been helping you
And
out.
they have all been tremendous.
They have.
I
I'm
mean,
just going to say it, the
can't
same
say
thing,
enough.
yeah. Absolutely. At the end of the phone, they're always answering the phone. If you've got a query on anything, whether it's nutrition, whether it's to do with the weight, anything, even with any of the people that have been involved, the therapists out in Rivas,
Fantastic.
They've got
And
the
they're
answer.
welcome.
They really know what they're talking about. They really, really do. If you've got a question, they've got the answer straight away for you. There's no,
Well,
nonsense.
we're delighted to be involved with Fitzgerald's Woodlands House Hotel and Spa, and
fantastic.
the real credit should go to the two of you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I'm really impressed because
Thank you.
it takes willpower. It's one thing, for a week or maybe two, but in the end, you get used to all the media attention and the pictures and the fact that you're on live 95fm.ie all the time. But then it becomes about focus.
It does.
Now, before you go, Jim, you just wanted to mention something. We were chatting in the previous hour about two callers, her daughter in Sandra's case, and in Tina's case, it's her own situation, on waiting lists for up to 14 months for
I
scans.
did some training last year. I trained as an EMT last year. I was lucky enough to be able to do that course, and I finished that course. But as part of my training, I worked down in Barrington's, and there's some wonderful people down there, of course. And I spoke to a lot of the nurses that were down there, and a lot of them would have already worked in the HSE itself. And I asked them, what were their problems. I also know lads work in the ambulance service, and they will tell you it's down to probably inefficiencies in the system. An example was in one of the theatres that I worked in Barrington's, we went through 22 procedures one day. The nurses reckoned that out in Doyle, or in the HSE, so not necessarily Doyle, in the HSE you go through about 9 in the same day. And that just, those kind of inefficiencies just aren't there. And they weren't worked off their feet. They were kept going all day, and things were done right. And there were absolutely no shortcuts, nothing like that. And they just couldn't understand. And they will tell you it's down to inefficiencies. And a lot of the time it's people who maybe are not at the coalface making decisions about things that are happening at the coalface. And I think maybe a lot of the time we should ask people that are actually there working in these kind of situations, especially lads in the ambulance service as well. There's no point in asking somebody sitting in an office how to make the ambulance service more efficient. You talk to the paramedics, the advanced paramedics, and the people who work in control.
Indeed, and that's at the other end of the scale. But what we're about here is prevention, really, and ensuring that people are fit and healthy and can live long, happy
matters
lives.
An awful, it does. It really does. And that's. I mean, I'm sure Margaret will agree with me that the whole thing is about change. And we don't tend to worry about prevention in the first place. We tend to worry about how to deal with the problem when we've got it, and we seem to forget about preventing it in the first instance.
No, I can't say enough about it really, because I feel so much better. Like I was feeling sluggish. The bones were starting to ache, and the tiredness was there. And really, as a preventative measure, I can't say enough about proper diet and exercise. I just can't. The change is unbelievable. I feel so much better. I can't put it into words.
We are so happy to have, in some small way, contributed to genuine improvements in two listeners' lives.
Can I just say one thing there, Joe, as well? We have a Facebook page going along with 6 Weeks to Success. So if any of the listeners to Limerick's Live 95 FM want to follow either the progress of our two winners or take on board the expert tips that are put up there every week. For example, I think with Sinead, our nutritionist, put up a recipe for a beautiful fruit smoothie this week. Lucas had a recipe for energy bars. Margaret put up a recipe for spelt bread,
it's
which is
fantastic,
beautiful.
Joe. It really is. Margaret made it some the other day for us. It's absolutely
Any chance of bringing a bit of it in
gorgeous.
next week?
You shall have a fresh loaf next week.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a promise now? Because
That's a
don't come in
promise.
otherwise.
I'm
I'm
a
afraid
wo-
you won't
I'm-
be coming into the studio if you don't bring it.
I'm a woman of my word.
Well done.
Imagine.
So that's it.
Absolutely.
Just to look up, if you're interested in looking at that page, just look up on Facebook 6 Weeks to Success, and you'll get Margaret and Jim's experiences and also all the expert tips as well.
Caroline Ryan, personal stylist, thank you very much.
Thank you indeed.
And I know you're looking at me going, I could do so much with you. And Margaret and Jim,
Thanks, Joe.
thanks, and really well done. And you're not finished yet. You'll be back with us next week. And don't forget that you'll be able to see this interview on live95fm.ie. And I have a special song for the two of you.
Oh, God.
Limerick Today with Joe Nash on Limerick's Live 95 FM.